Hey, what's up guys, it's Kayhettin with Learn to Raid, delivering to you yet another Mr. Pandaria preview. Today we're going to be covering the Pandarian spell effects, emotes, and animations once again. Just that we're going to be doing it at level 85. That means we have access to all 3 specs and all the abilities up to level 85. So it's going to be a blast. Let's check it out. Right out the box, the first ability is Expel Harm. It takes 2% of your base mana, instant ability, 15-second cooldown. It instantly heals yourself and does 100% of the amount healed to instantly be dealt to all nearby enemies within 5 yards. Stance of the Fierce Tiger. It increases damage done by 20% and allows the use of abilities under jurisdiction of the White Tiger, such as offensive, damage abilities. Stance of the Sturdy Ox. Reduces the damage taken by 20%, reduces the chance to be critically hit by 6%, and increases your chance to stagger damage by 25%. Stagger, you shrug off attacks causing 50% of the damage to happen instantly and the remaining 50% to be divided over 9 seconds. Also take note that Brewmaster Mastery reduces the after effects stagger damage taken. Stance of the Wise Serpent increases healing done by 20% and replaces your energy resource to mana. Also increases your spell and melee hit rating equal to your spirit gained from items or effects. Any ability which costs energy will now cost mana instead. Avert Harm. 15-yard range, 1-minute cooldown, requires the Ox Stance. You reduce the damage taken by all nearby friendly targets within 10 yards by 20% and cause half of all remaining damage they take to be redirected to you. Lasts for 15 seconds. Avert Harm is cancelled if you reach 10% or lower health. Breath of Fire. Requires 2 chi, instant cast, requires the Ox Stance. Breathes fire into the target, causing minor damage. Damage is multiplied by the number of dizzying haze stacks on the target. Crackling Jade Lightning. It costs 3% of base mana, 40-yard range, and is channeled. Channels Jade Lightning at the target, causing nature damage over 6 seconds. If the enemy attacks you within melee range while victim to Crackling Jade Lightning, they are knocked back for a short distance. This effect has an 8-second cooldown. Detox. It takes 2.6% of your base mana, 40-yard range, and it's an instant cast, 8-second cooldown. Eliminates ailments from the friendly target, removing all harmful poison and bleed effects. Disable. It costs 15 energies and instant cast. You attempt to disable the target's movement, reducing their movement speed by 25%. Stacks up to 2 times. If you use Disable a 3rd time on a target while they have 2 stacks, all stacks will be consumed and it will be rooted for 8 seconds, 3 in PvP. Dizzying Haze. It requires 10 energy, has a 40-yard range, and it's an instant cast that requires the Ox Stance. You hurl a keg of your finest brew, reducing the movement speed of all enemies within 8 yards by 15%. Affected targets have a 3% chance to have their attacks misfire and strike themselves instead for damage. Stacks up to 3 times. Elusive Brew. It requires 1 chi energy, it's an instant cast on a 45-second cooldown, and requires the Ox Stance. It increases your chance to dodge melee and ranged attacks by 50% for 10 seconds. Fortifying Brew. It's on a 3-minute cooldown. It increases your health by 100%, but you can't be healed. Lasts 20 seconds. Grapple Weapon. Has a 40-yard range and a 1-minute cooldown. You fire off a rope spear, grappling the target's weapons and shield, and returning them to you. Depending on the quality of the weapon, your damage done, healing done, and damage reduction may be increased. Keg Smash. It requires 1 chi energy, it's an instant cast on an 8-second cooldown, and requires the Ox Stance. You swing a keg of brew, dealing damage to the target and 2 nearby enemies, and causing their next attack to misfire within 8 seconds, dealing damage to themselves instead of you. Summon Black Ox Statue. Has a 40-yard range, a 1.5 second cast, and is on a 3-minute cooldown, and also requires the Ox Stance. It summons Black Ox Statue at the target location, lasts for 15 minutes. Only 1 Black Ox Statue can be summoned at any one time. The Black Ox Statue interacts with your Provoke and Leer of the Ox abilities. Guard is an on-click effect. Allies can right-click the statue to gain the guard effect, absorbing damage. Any healing done by the monk is increased by 30% while guard is active. Guard has 10 charges. Legacy of the Emperor has a 40-yard range. You extol the words of the last Emperor, increasing strength, agility, intellect by 5%. If target is in your party or raid, all party and raid members will be affected. Meditation is a channeled ability on a 3-minute cooldown. It reduces all damage taken by 99% and redirects to you all harmful spells cast against party and raid targets within 30 yards, and it lasts 8 seconds. Being the victim of a melee attack will break your meditation, canceling the effect. Paralysis costs 3% of your base mana. It's an instant cast with a 15-second cooldown. You cause the target's muscles to contract, incapacitating them for 30 seconds. If done from behind the target, the duration is doubled. Only one target can be victim to paralysis at any given time. Any damage taken will cancel the effect. Provoke has a 40-yard range and an 8-second cooldown. You mock the target, causing them to rush toward to attack you at an increased movement speed of 50%. If targeting your statue of the Black Ox, you provoke all enemies within an 8-yard radius of your statue. Shuffle requires 2 chi energy, is a channeled ability, and is on a 20-second cooldown, and also requires the Ox stance. You shuffle around, causing the next 3 melee attacks to be staggered. While shuffling, you cannot move, attack, or cast spells, and it lasts for 6 seconds. Spear Hand Strike. It costs 30 energy, it's an instant cast with a 30-second cooldown. It either requires the Ox stance or Tiger stance. You jab the target in the throat, interrupting their spell cast and preventing any spell in that school from being cast for 5 seconds. If the enemy is facing you when cast, they are also silenced out of all schools for 5 seconds. Touch of Death. It takes 3 chi energy, it's an instant cast on a 1.5 minute cooldown. You exploit the enemy target's weakest point, instantly killing them. Only usable on non-player targets who have equal or less health than you. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is an extensive view of the level 85 monk's spells and abilities. Thanks again for watching this episode of Exploring Pandaria. I'm your host, Kayhettin. Make sure you subscribe to us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at the said domain /learn2raid. Like, comment, and favorite this video, and check out the stream at athenelive.com/killers. As always, it's been a whole lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and I'll see you again soon.
I wasn't feeling so good. I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So I went home, and I got all comfy and cozy and all scrunched up in front of my phonograph. And I sat there and I closed my eyes and listened to all this